An attempt to shame a barista online for refusing to serve an unmasked customer backfired spectacularly after the internet decided to donate thousands of dollars in support to this barista. So now this was a GoFundMe that was set up by somebody else for the barista identified as Lennon Gutierrez. So it raised over $18,000 just days after it was posted online. So now the person who created this GoFundMe is actually somebody named Matt Cowan. So now he wrote in the description, raising money for Lennon and his honorable effort standing his ground when faced with a Karen in the wild. That's always fun. Now, all donations to the page, he said, are considered personal gifts to Gutierrez. So let me give you the details, of course, and why this is awesome. Now, this page was set up after a customer had posted his picture online of him wearing a mask and complaining that she was not served at a Starbucks when she came in not wearing her mask. So now the company has set up guidelines, and the county had set up guidelines, I should say, saying that, hey, look, if you go out to most public places, you are required to wear a mask. So now she said, no, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in and spread COVID around, assuming that, we should all assume that we haven't. And that's why we should be wearing masks to protect not only each other, but ourselves as well. And she said, no, I'm not interested. Serve me anyway. He says, no, I'm not going to do that. So she took his picture and put it up online and wrote this: meet Lennon from Starbucks who refused to serve me because I'm not wearing a mask. Next time, I will wait for cops and bring a medical exemption. That is, of course, pure Karen behavior, right? And so, look, I that's ridiculous, right? You guys have probably seen these going around now, but there are, and I wish I had a picture of it, fake cards people have made on so like they like laminate it and they try to make it look as official as possible to say that, oh, under the ADA, I don't have to wear a mask. This is my mask exemption. It's a fake. There's no such thing. There is no such thing as a mask exemption, right? No, everybody wears a mask. In fact, San Diego County, where this happened, has required residents to wear face coverings in most public settings, including picking up fast food at a restaurant, which, of course, that's what you would do at Starbucks. In its online notice, the county said that everyone should help protect others by following health orders, and noted that we can't expect law enforcement to make sure every person is wearing a face covering. But if you don't wear one, you can be cited or not allowed into a business, in transit, or in other areas. And so, look, Lennon is certainly within his right to say, I will not service you. I'm sorry, but unless you're going to follow the rules. It's like saying no shirt, no shoes, no service, but actually it's different in that if you don't wear your shoes, you're not going to give someone a communicable disease. Very likely you're not being able to, you're not going to be able to do that, right? In this case, it's much more of a health hazard to not wear your mask than it is to not wear shoes. So anyway, he was doing his job is what I'm trying to say. He's doing his job, and he was doing, following the rules and everything. And Karen, and I know that's not her name, right? I'm not going to give you her name because she's a very unimportant person, right? But this Karen refused to wear the mask and tried to put people at risk, and then demanded service, demanded the manager, all that stuff, right? Again, Karen behavior. And she decided to shame him online, and it blew up in her face, and that's great. Now, the reason that you probably shouldn't, post someone's picture and say these kinds of things is because there is a section of this country that is insane and violent and that thinks that wearing masks, thanks to our president, right, is a political statement. Where really it's not a statement at all. It's just, I care about my health and I care about the health of other people, and that's why I'm wearing the damn mask. But you will get attacked for that in some places by certain people. by wearing a mask. And so, I mean, this did open up somebody to possible danger, but thankfully it didn't. And it had the opposite effect. Nobody cared about what Karen had to say. And people actually rallied around this guy. And I love it. And I love these, these random acts of kindness. Now, Cowan told KGTV that he had been shocked to see how many people had donated to this. He said, I set it at $1,000 thinking that was a reach, but we would be lucky if we hit 250. When we hit 100, I was overwhelmed. Everybody is rallying around somebody for doing what they're supposed to do and trying to protect everyone else. It just goes to show you there are a lot of good people out there, and that outweighs the bad. I love it. So it turns out that, yes, look, I generally tend to focus on the bad people who are not wearing their masks, but most people are good people. Most people wear their masks, and they want to protect everyone else. And they shouldn't be outweighed by the selfish people, right? Thankfully, they're a minority. But Cowan says he's going to give all the money to Gutierrez and says it's up to him to decide what he wants to do with it. And for verification purposes, of course, he shared a screenshot of communications between the two to say that he has been in contact with him. Gutierrez responded by putting a video on Facebook, thanking all of the donors and saying that thanks to you, his dream to become a dancer is now in reach. Quote, with this donation, I can make these dreams a reality. I can fuel my passion even better now. So altogether, a pretty good story, positive ending. And it really shows how, unlike most people who are generous and wonderful people, these anti-maskers have been literally unmasked to show how selfish and terrible they really are. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.